basketball analysis with over 70 years combined experience.
The Bob, Ryan, and Jeff Goodman podcast is brought to you by Prize Picks and the Game Time.
All right, it's time for Bob, Ryan, and Gary Tanguay, brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of CLNS Media Network. Pick more, pick less with Prize Picks. Okay, Bob, I want to start with my theory on the Celtics. Now, I was absolutely ecstatic that they pulled out the win the other night, albeit against one of the worst teams in the league. I'll take it. But this is what I think has happened to this team. I think that they completely shut it off, shut it down, thinking they could turn it back on at any time, and they can't. And I was thinking about the teams of the 80s, the Lakers and the Celtics, and why they always wanted to repeat. Those teams understood. They knew that they didn't want to lose it. This Celtic team didn't understand that. I think they truly believed that they could mail it in and turn it back on anytime they wanted to. And they can't. They can't. I mean, they had to bust their ass to beat one of the worst teams in the league, in the Pelicans.
That was, number one, that was an annoying, frustrating, unfulfilling, unsatisfying non-loss for me. I didn't enjoy that game.
No.
Had I been a neutral, I would have enjoyed that game with all those lead changes and ties and drama and that wacky ending, which if it didn't involve the Celtics, I would have really, and been enraptured by. I would have had some fun with it. But you don't see that chain of events quite the way it happened very often in the NBA, And they're the very lucky beneficiaries of the gods deciding that McCollum's last nice little runner wasn't going to go in, and almost did. Okay, so it was annoying to me, and I didn't enjoy it, and but it was masochistic. I had to watch the game, in a sense, so we would be able to converse intelligently about it. But I wasn't enjoying it, and the fact that they came out on the right side of the score, fine, but I was unfulfilled. Now, what you're saying, it's very they did say all the right things before the season started. Right. Well, and we give them, their leaders are intelligent guys. I mean, Brown, and Tatum, and of course the backcourt, they're both tremendous, and of course they're very intelligent people. We know that, but we don't know what's in their heart and their head exactly, and they're smart enough to say the right things, without fulfilling them. We know that. I mean, I think maybe that's what they're showing us. We'll see. So it's interesting. Where I thought you might be going, because we did touch. It wasn't it? You have touched upon it previously. Was the lack of a rival, the lack of there's no Lakers to their Celtics.
Right.
To their, there's no rival. I mean, Cleveland they got to chase Cleveland, but I still think, and if you put the proverbial Luger to their heads, they'll say, we'll beat Cleveland in 7 games if we have to, and it might, and it's fine. Anyway, but it was against a team. Not only is it the team that was the worst record in the Western Conference and one of the handful of worst in the league, they were missing people too. They weren't even full
Bob, but this is, I mean, they were showing the numbers. They had them in the Globe. They had them on the telecast. The fourth quarter for the Celtics it's been a disaster. A disaster, which usually for a championship team, a clutch team, that's when they put on that's when they step on the pedal. So I think I observed the team. I think that they've lost their confidence. I thought they struggled to win that game, man, and they couldn't. They still missed layups. I mean, Porzingis wasn't hitting. They were fortunate to win. They're a defending championship team struggling to regain their identity.
It started to unravel when the most reliable person maybe you can ask for did an incomprehensible thing. Derek White didn't take an inbounds pass. Right. Where was his head? What was he thinking? I don't know what was that. You ever seen anything like that? You don't see anything like that. No. And specifically, not from a really heads up player. Okay. Then after that, the errors of then the 5-second rule. I'm going to take his word for it that was a bad call, because he says that he has an internal clock. He throws the ball in a lot, and he's not going to ordinarily get caught on the 5 second. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. But then
Would you try to call a timeout too?
I don't think so. No, I think he just wanted to have the 5 second count going on his head. Then, of course, Tatum missed 2 free throws. That's commission, not omission.
Right.
It was a bad time to miss the 2 free throws. That's for sure. And so you add it all up, and they put themselves, up 5 points with 20 seconds, and they could easily have lost the game easily if McCollum's shot goes in, and they could lose, and deservedly. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking he deserved to lose. I was going. One thing I was going to say to you in anticipation about how we were going to discuss this horrifying loss to New Orleans was that I always say this. I've been saying this for 60 years, well, 50. I probably didn't start saying it until I started covering the NBA, which is I just root for justice in the end. I want the team that deserves to win to win, and the team that deserved to win did not win. I don't think.
No, I agree.
I think so.
They're a talented team. But the Celtics they're the most talented team in the league. I still believe they are. They're obviously in a funk, and they need to play better. But boy, I just think they let things get away from themselves. And I don't know if I don't want to sound like old bastard here, Bob, but, we haven't had a dynasty in a long time. Golden State, they repeated. But lately, it's not an easy thing to do. And we've seen defending champions not do so great. I mean, Denver really fell off the map, and I thought they were going to be around for a while.
That's going to point that out. Denver's in the midst of a fall now from where they were. And they still have key contenders. They're all there. The key components are all there, and it's not like it's a turnover. It's a lack of whatever it is. They're suffering, So that the thing that continues to bug me is their transition defense.
Oh, the defense. Agreed.
Often, the 3-point thing, how much do we beat it to death, and we understand the whole thing, but the transition defense is a problem for me, and I didn't like some of those easy fast breaks at the.
They're not playing defense, and what happens is they try to get back into the game real quick with the threes, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. They're better off going to the basket, but agreed, defensively they're still not there.
Well, that's where it is, and they got to figure it out. Now, the only thing I'll say, not the only thing, but one thing I will say, and I did X this out. I'm not panicking. We know it's correctable.
Right.
I'm not panicking. See me when they're down 3-1 in a playoff series.
Right.
Then I'll start.
And here's my rebuttal to that. I was texting with my old producer, Jeff Capitasto, who does at NBC Sports Boston, and I was like, "These Celtics are driving me crazy." He goes, wait till the playoffs. But I'm not in the media anymore. I'm a fan. I'm like I'm a regular citizen, Bob. I'm just a civilian. I really am. I take my kids to school. I do some stuff. I do some grocery shopping. I do some teaching. I don't have a media mindset. When I sit down to watch a game, that doesn't come into my mind like, oh, well, they'll still be there for the playoffs. And I don't. I just sit down as a fan. I go, I want to see a good game. And that's where I get pissed. We'll get back to Bob in just a moment. Got to tell you about Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot up to win $1,000 time your cash. Your game all season long on Prize Picks. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Basketball season heating up, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action while watching your favorite games. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks, and they now offer MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. So Prize Picks, the best way to win real money this basketball season. Which players are going to go off? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. What's Tatum going to do? He is heating it up, man. Without him, the Celtics really would be up a creek. Is he going to bust 30? Or what about Anthony Edwards? Is he going to have more than 25? Pick more or less on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
I've been preaching that gospel to people, as you know, about enjoy the moment, enjoy. You're a sports fan. Everything isn't about the big picture. And I just contradicted myself there.
Well, you pointed it out. You had your journalism. You had your journalist hat on, which I agree. But yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Well, I had my experience. I mean, I'm through this for 55 years. I mean, you know, my first year covering the league was 68, 69. Oh, right. So I've seen it. I've seen the trends. I've seen how things work, and I have a, you know, and you know, all that. And I was thinking along the way, just so I'll throw it in right now. I covered 2 championship teams in the 70s that the years they won, you didn't expect them to win, and the years you thought they were going to win, they didn't win. And their second halves of both 73, 74 and 75, 76 were nowhere near as good as their first half. And going into the playoffs, I didn't exude confidence. Plus, there were teams that they weren't going to be the favorite. The favorite in 74 was going to be the Bucks, and the favorite in 76 was going to be the defending champion Warriors, who completely screwed up by losing to the Suns. Okay, and who got themselves as far as the Western Conference Finals and then imploded. Well, 7th game, but it was a disastrous 7th game. So I've seen it. You know, you don't have to be playing your very best, I know, to win. And you know, in the course of 72, 73, they win 68 games and they don't win for a very good reason. John Havlicek got hurt. And anybody thinks it was any other reason, it's crazy. That was the reason, period. End of story. Let's move on. And so we couldn't count on that. But believe me, winning in 74 wasn't expected, not by me, when they started the playoffs. And it sure wasn't expected in 76. The vibes on that team, Garrett, weren't good. They were starting to sour on Tommy Heinsohn and his methodology. He was wearing them out, and they weren't a happy team at all. They were, and when they won, I'm telling you right now, it was one of those deals. It wasn't elation. It was relief. Oh, thank God it's over. Rather than woo, we won. Yeah, it was. Now there was one individual that contradicted that because he was the MVP and he deserved to be. And that was JoJo. JoJo, he appreciated it. He was but everybody else that mattered, it was, oh God, let's go home and now. Thank you. I can go home and relax. we got this thing over. All right. Now, I don't know what that had to do with anything. I just.
Well, no, I mean, your point's well taken. Listen, the team can still turn it around. It's just that they should look, if they're not in the finals, it's a disappointment. I will give a team the benefit of the doubt. If they get in the finals, and my God, if they get in the finals and they get outplayed, but it's a really good series, you know, I'll tip my hat to the other guys. But, you know, like if they get in the finals and they play Oklahoma City and Oklahoma City beats them, I can live with that, you know. But they should get in the finals. Yeah. It's just like, as a fan, I sit down and watch a game. I'm just very picky, you know.
Fine, that's fine. Yeah, but that's but I'm not enjoying these games right now.
Me neither. Me neither. Me neither. Not at all. No, God, no.
No, I mean, it's just so. Well,
anyways, let's go to the Knicks. The Knicks over the Bucks. Some thoughts on that. And Brunson.
The Knicks.
Pulls out his data. Pulls out his sheet.
Oh, yes, I got The Knicks.
Right next to the grocery.
The Knicks were on a roll for a while, and during that roll, they won 9 in a row. And during that 9, however, among their victims, New Orleans, Toronto, San Antonio, Washington twice, and Utah. Okay, that victory, and then they got waxed at home the other night by OKC, which is no disgrace at any time, except they lost by 26. Yeah. Okay. Yesterday, I think, was their signature win of the season. Now the Bucks' record, we know that they're now playing much, much better. we know the Bucks have become formidable again. They are playing very well, and that was a big win. And they routed them by 140 to something. And Brunson had 44. And by the way, he got hurt in the third quarter, and they had the whole garden went silent, as you can imagine.
Right.
And he did come back, and it's a shoulder something, so we'll see. But I'm just saying that was a signature win for them. I'm just going to make a point. I got carried away, by the way, with their when they were playing well, because I love that starting five, and I just can see how they could have games here. They're going to be very hard to beat for anybody at any time. And just so you know, they were 6-6 to start the season, and now they're 25-14. So they're playing at a very good clip, 19-8. But as I say, some of it is synthetic against weak opponents, and so we're not sure about them, except that they're dangerous. They can be very dangerous. I'll put them in that category. Okay, they're not reliable yet, but they're dangerous. They're still relying on I think they have like 3 of the top 5 minutes per made top minutes guys in the league.
Right.
Thibodeau is living up to his reputation as playing those starters heavy, but I think he's got to, right now. He doesn't have Mitchell Robinson yet. He hasn't played all year, and who else just got hurt? Oh, somebody got hurt else, and he's when you got to use Precious Achiuwa as your backup center, that's not good. I mean, he shouldn't be a center. So, I think that was a signature win for them yesterday. A very, very good win. I will give them a little salute. So there you go.
Can you get excited about the Pacific Division, or is it just mediocrity?
I can't get excited. I think it's good. It's going to be very competitive. They're going to be enjoying themselves. Right now, as we speak, the 5 teams in the Pacific are separated by 3 in the loss column, 1-3. That the Lakers up at 16 and the Suns at 19, and they're separated by 3. There's no great team there. It's just the Lakers, the Clippers, the Suns now they're a mystery guest right now. They've got that big 3. And when they play, and I'm not going to dismiss them a possibility of getting it together. Now that they got this new thing where Beal is coming off the bench, which we discussed that last time, and he's had at least 2 20-point games coming off the bench since he's done it. Didn't have 20 last night, but they've still, they got a big 3. Booker's. Do people appreciate how good Booker is?
No, because he's in Phoenix.
No,
I think he's a hell of a player, but no, I would say no, they do not.
I love it. I still maintain that Calipari blew it by not playing him more the year that they were undefeated going into the finals, going into the Final Four. He was in this big thing about unit rotation. And
let me ask you something about Booker. If he plays for Golden State, is he considered as good as Steph?
About whom?
If you put Booker on Golden State, right,
Golden State,
you put him in the same class as Steph.
No, I mean, maybe where Steph is, we know he's not. He's 36 now. Maybe right now, very close. Yes, not the Steph of 2 years ago. Maybe but there's no way you can hold him to that standard any longer. But no, Booker is really, 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 really good. And Durant, everybody talks about, and they should, about LeBron's longevity and how well he's playing at his age. But if you take him out of the equation for a minute, for a moment. And grant that he's unique in history for what he's doing. Durant is playing at a level very few have ever played at his level, at his age, which is 36. He's still very, very formidable, Durant. And
let's play a game. I'm going to put you on the spot.
He's become taken for granted in that regard.
Let's play a game. I'm going to put us on the spot. Let's come up with the all 5 old man team. All right, so I got LeBron, right?
I got
Kareem.
You got Kareem,
and then you got Durant.
Yeah, but it's fine. The guards are hard. I'm trying to.
Don't even worry about the guards. I mean, just give me 2 other players.
Just 5 guys.
I'm trying to come up with 5 guys like who.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I'd have to think on that.
Now
I
they
mean, I know
play longer. Now guys are
he's a guy that played 20 years. Nowitzki. He played 20
Dirk.
years just about.
Dirk.
He was
Absolutely.
very good at the end.
Dirk.
Now, there's another guy that was nowhere near this level, but he was effective for a long, long time, and he's going to go down. He's not going to go down in history. Nobody's going to remember him outside of the city he played in. And he played 20 damn years. That's Kevin Willis. And he was a useful player, not a great player, never great, but useful, and he lasted a long time.
Lopez. Lopez made himself into a 3-point shooter. I don't know, but it's interesting because you really can't go back to the 80s or the 70s because guys didn't play like they do now.
Well, Michael, we got to put Michael up there again.
Yeah, Michael at 36, 37 was with the Washington, right?
It's going out. He averaged 20 his last year.
Yeah.
The only other guy I know that did that was Jerry West. I think he averaged 20 his last year, and then he went out. But no, they didn't play that long. Havlicek played 16.
But Bob, we're gonna have the 40 plus All-Star.
John Havlicek didn't quit because he couldn't play.
Right.
I'll tell you that right now. John Havlicek quit because he didn't like what was around him any longer. It wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't satisfying. It was too much work to play with the people he was playing with, and that's why he quit. And he told me, and that if he had only known what Larry was going to be, he would have stuck around. And played with Larry Bird. So, but John, but he was like 38, 30. Yeah, he played 16 years. That's a good question. But you're right. But there's no question that the guys they can last longer. But it's still hard for guards. It's always the big men ordinarily.
If you're looking for tickets, it's really simple. You have to have the Game Time app on your phone. It's just the app. You take Game Time. Filter out all the fluff and give you incredible deals, like the Super Deal, which is the best deal that's available at that point in time that you're on Game Time. Game Time also has seat views before you buy them, right? You click it on, you get the view of the seat, you know what you're getting. And all the money is right up front. You know what you're paying. There's no last minute fees added on just before you put it on your credit card. On-time ticket delivery, lowest price guarantee, and also event cancellation protection. Lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. How about that? And your tickets are guaranteed to be delivered on time or your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use code Game Time for $20 off your purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code Game Time for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. How do you think? How would John? Because you have told the story about how John played Larry in one-on-one, or he beat Larry in one-on-one. Would John have let Larry be the guy?
Yes. Oh yeah. John would have found the best way to compliment with an E as well as Larry Bird and his and Larry would have loved playing with John. There's no doubt about that. And of course, John famously came to practice for a few years on his birthday and dazzled them, practice. And yeah, that would have been John wouldn't have had any trouble with that. He was humble. And he knew who he was, but no, he would never cause a problem at all. He would have been great with that.
That would have been something else. I mean, Hondo for that. Oh my God, that would have been a clinic in team basketball.
It would have been. That would have been.
Yeah.
So,
might have been, Bob? What might have been? So
you hadn't both.
Yeah, I mean that's something to think about down the road. So for true contenders, are the Bucks going to make a run?
I need to see some more. I need to see more. And once again, all this is contingent. It's almost a fruitless discussion because of the injury factor. But let's suppose in an ideal academic argument that everybody brings their best to the table.
Right.
That they all, which is seldom happens, but if it were to happen, I think they're the next. They've fallen to. I think the Bucks and Philly.
I got to tell you, if the Celtics don't get their shit together, this could be a very blah NBA final.
Yeah. Yeah, the West, I agree. Right now, I think it's OKC versus the field for me right now in the West.
Right.
Right now.
Right.
It really is. Denver's not the answer yet, and nobody in the Pacific, and Houston, they're a nice up and comer. They're a growth stock, but they're not ready yet. They're making, they're and Memphis, when they're fully healthy and Ja's out there and they got everything they need, and they and Houston are in that category. I've invented that. Oh, goody. I don't. We're playing them. We don't want to play them. They're in that. We don't necessarily. We're not. Nobody's saying goody. We're playing Memphis or Houston this year.
Right.
If they continue on their path. Yeah, but that doesn't make them championship contenders.
No,
it
but I'm looking at the field, and when I think of a dominant team or dominant teams of years gone by, I don't see it.
No. I mean, Cleveland's playing very well and fine. We'll see. And Cleveland's on a 70-game pace.
They are.
But they are until they aren't. I'd say right now they are, and we'll see. I mean, we haven't even reached the halfway mark. We get and all things can change absolutely. But right now the signs are very good for them, and they got certain people that the backcourt is established. They are who they are. They're going to be this way for a while. Garland, by the way, had 44-point game in the night when Mitchell didn't play. And by the way, and the Mobley. Jeff, our friend Jeff is a big Mobley fan, and he's making him look very good this year, Mobley, and he gets better and better. And so they're going to, right now they're very legit, but I don't think there's that many contenders. I think it's really in the West. Frankly, there's only one team I can see.
I agree.
Championship, and
that's Oklahoma City. Yeah, and I completely agree. I just, from an entertainment perspective, if I'm a television executive, Bob, right? Let's play that game. Like if I'm a television executive, and what made the NBA great, I need some names. Like I want the Freak in it in the East. I want Giannis. I love the Knicks. I love the Knicks story. I want MSG. I want the Celtics to regain their mojo. I want Denver to regain, their mojo in the West. But that's what I need. Like I need some stars. I need some names. I want Giannis in the mix. That's what I want.
Well, you are echoing, I know, it's a compliment to you. You're echoing a very interesting piece that was in the Athletic the other day, in which that was the gist of it, that the NBA lacks magnetic stars right now to take the torch from LeBron. They were citing about the rivalry, the good rivalry that does it. I never really appreciated it that much, but apparently it's stronger than I realized. A legitimate personal rivalry of not just very analogous to Magic and Larry with regard to their mutual respect and admiration for between LeBron and Curry. Steph.
Right. Well,
they've been teammates in the Olympics multiple times now.
Yeah, we don't have that.
All those practices, all those games, all those practices, all those days off, all those times hanging around the bar, whatever, together. They're friends. And then when the game starts, they're enemies. They're frenemies. But this SGA, is he the answer? I'll tell you a guy, and they bring, and this is what great minds. I love this. John Hollinger wrote the story, I believe, but whoever did, if I must give you the credit, I'm sorry. But we had a discussion as far as 2 years ago on us that John Morant could be one of the new faces of the league.
Right.
Face of the league. Then he goes, well, he mentioned John Morant as an example of who could be one of these guys that could propel the league. But people see this. I have to acknowledge that this is a phenomenon that's very real and exists. It's never motivated me, so I don't relate to this. I mean, I just want the teams. To me, whoever should be there in a given year that's the.
Oh yeah, because you're a purist. No, but you're a purist. I get that.
But, I mean, I'm not going to be snobby or put people down. I have to acknowledge that this is important.
And I just, when I talk to you, Bob, these things just pop into my head. It's interesting because now I'm thinking back, if you start it was always like Wilt versus Russell, even though they were friends. I mean, their days on the town are legendary. And then I guess you had Celtics, Knicks, Willis Reed, and the Bucks. And then obviously the late 80s, that was weird. It wasn't really a rivalry then. But then, of course, 80s, Larry and Magic and Michael, so you had some big time rivalries right there. And right now they're not it's not there. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it never will be because all these guys hang around together.
Well, it's a different world now, of course.
But here's the thing, though. And I'll close with this. Wilt and Russ, like they would stay at each other's houses and all that. But when they got on the floor, it was business. And then the same thing with Larry and Magic. Larry went out. I mean, Magic shot a commercial at Larry's house. They became friends. Larry's mom made sense. But when they got on the floor, it was all business.
Oh, yeah, it was. Oh, of course it was. And now yeah, you're right. And it was all.
I'm my buddy off the floor, but I'm going to cut your heart out on the floor. And I want to win multiple championships.
Well, the whole Boston LA thing, it's got a 60-year history.
Right.
At any time, it could be kindled at any time, and the league knows this, and that's why they were so blessed that Bird and Magic went where they went at the time that they did. Because you're right, the NBA in the late 70s was off the screen. It was the doldrums for most people, and they helped revive it. They set the table for Michael, and now the league is going in a direction no one would have ever foreseen in those days. No, that's very good. Michael never had a direct.
What's that?
Michael never had a direct. Michael, we had to manufacture rivalries for Michael. In the playoffs when they played Phoenix, they said Charles and Clyde Drexler. Michael scoffed when people would say that so and so was a rival.
Right. But yeah,
he never had one.
And not. We could sit here and debate the greatest player of all time. I would probably still say Michael. And there's LeBron and Ross. You can make the argument. I'd still say Michael because of his defense, his tenacity. But I don't know if he'll ever win any Boy Scout awards, and we'll just leave it at that.
We'll have plenty of time to book it. Don't worry.
All right, Bob. Thanks a lot, buddy. Bob Ryan, Gary Tanguay, brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of CLNS Media Network. Pick more, pick less with Prize Picks. All right, Bob, until next week.